associate freely. This means the possibility to marry or not, to divorce, and to establish other types of responsible sexual associations. Number 8. The right to make free and responsible reproductive choices. This encompasses the right to decide whether or not to have children, the number and spacing of children, and the right to full access to the means of fertility regulation. Number 9. The right to sexual information based upon scientific inquiry. This right implies that sexual information should be generated through the process of unencumbered and yet scientifically ethical inquiry and disseminated in appropriate ways at all societal levels. Number 10. The right to comprehensive sexuality education. This is a lifelong process from birth throughout the life cycle and should involve all social institutions. Number 11. The right to sexual health care. Sexual health care should be available for prevention and treatment of all sexual concerns, problems, and disorders. Introduction.
Pleasure is the object, the duty, the goal of all rational creatures. Voltaire.
How many of us have had a comfortable, honest, and appropriate sex education beyond that embarrassing conversation that usually goes, "Your father and I think, it's about time I talk to you about, growing up and, oh gosh, is that the time?" Even my students, who are about to become doctors of psychology, would often sidle up to me at the end of a lecture and say things like, "Dr. Connolly, thanks for the directions to my wife's G-spot." Or, "Wow, until today I never knew it was possible to avoid ejaculating too early." Despite the commonly held myth that suggests the opposite, making love does not come easily and spontaneously. Rather, it's something we have to learn. So isn't it ridiculous that, because of our prudishness, accurate information is so hard to come by? There are many myths about sex, procreation, and gender, and it's high time those were busted. A major research study uncovered some of the following beliefs about conception. You won't get pregnant if you douche after sex with Coca-Cola, Sprite, or Fanta. You won't get pregnant if you have sex standing up. And my favorite, you won't get pregnant if your man drinks alcohol before intercourse. With so much misinformation about, it's a wonder that any of us manages to get it on safely at all. On top of that, we have to ask ourselves, is any sexual information we receive entirely accurate? Can we completely trust all sexuality research? Do people always tell the truth about their sexual secrets, especially to young research assistants wielding clipboards?
I do a lot of research, especially in the apartments of tall blondes. Raymond Chandler.
Human sexuality does not just involve physiology. It's heavily influenced by society, race, ethnicity, religion, family background, experience, and the messages about sex that each individual gleans from childhood onwards. So isn't it highly likely that personal stories, truthfully expounded, give us the most valuable insights into the nature of human sexuality in any given society? I happen to think so. True stories. In telling the sexual story of our lives from conception onwards, I couldn't simply draw upon existing formal research into how things may change from decade to decade because there's so little of it. Instead, I've recorded the testimonies of men and women of various ages who've actually experienced each particular stage themselves, making this book rich with the direct language of all kinds of people of different races and religions. Since people of other cultures often have vastly different sexual lifespan experiences, and because presenting a worldview is beyond the scope